Hey everyone, it's Mike with It's Pittsfield Tonight. I'm going to jump right into it, and this video is going to be really a continuation of yesterday's video. So for those of you who didn't see yesterday's video, the main topic I talked about was the Mayor Tire's choice and pick for the managers of the ARPA funds, and that's the $41 million coming into the city under the American Rescue Plan Act. And it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It's a lot of money coming in that has been given to the city in response to the past year and a half and the losses and the shutdowns and all those things. So really that money it could be such a life-changing moment for the city of Pittsfield. And the mayor, rather than posting a job available for a manager of those funds and making it a public thing and being truly embracing equality and diversity and choosing the best candidates for the position after everyone applies, she decided to not make that public, that it was an available position, and she chose our community development director, Deanna Rufer, who will be resigning her post in February, and she chose Gina Armstrong, who was our former director of the health department. And Gina abruptly left that position a month and a half, 2 months ago, something like that, and said she, after 9 years with the city, that she needed to spend more time with her family. And now we find out what the reality of all this is. Because once you hit the 10-year mark with the city of Pittsfield, you're eligible for benefits, your health insurance and all that, for life. So I'm assuming, even though Gina lives in New York and she'll be a part-time employee for the city, at $50,000 to $54,000 a year each for her and Deanna, each for part-time. This, I'm sure, will go towards her benefits as an employee of the city. And as usual, it was a behind-the-scenes deal which gave no one the opportunity to be involved in this. And, you know, it's time for community. I mean, this one really upsets me because it's time for the community to step up and say enough is enough. It's time for us to come together as a community. We can't wait for the people that are elected. They're not going to unite the city. They're not going to encourage people to get involved. They're not out there supporting businesses. They're not out there doing any of those things. It's the continual political cronyism and cliques fighting each other. I don't necessarily blame the politicians that are there. It's an established system that has been this way forever, my whole life. And you see the change, you see it moving through the country, and it's time in Pittsfield for all of us to step forward. Life is short, and it's a crazy time in this world right now. And it is time for us to be part of the solution, to be part of the community, all of us. And when you see this kind of activity, it's time to speak up. It's time to call your counselors. It's time to call City Hall. It's time to send emails. And not one or two of us, that's not going to do anything. Take 5 or 10 minutes out of your day to make that happen and let the city know this kind of stuff is unacceptable. You know, go back to the pick for superintendent. And this is nothing against Joe Curtis, but when Jake McCandless announced that he was leaving, that rumor was already around. Everybody said, I don't know why they're even bothering interviewing everybody. Everybody knows what's going to happen. It's going to be Joe Curtis. He's going to be passed the baton and things are going to stay the same. Now, if we had top performing schools and everything was wonderful in Pittsfield, maybe that would be the right choice. But no. We have underperforming schools. We have the second highest choice out rate in the state. It costs the city millions and millions of dollars. We have teachers leaving at an alarming rate who are treated horribly, who still don't have a contract. The schools are a mess. And we put on this show claiming we're ready to embrace change and diversity and all these things. And no, we just stick with the same old, same old. We had all these top qualified candidates, and they picked Joe Curtis. And then after that, some of the members of the school committee say, well, he was by far the most qualified and this and that, and he deserved it. You hear deserve a lot. I've heard the mayor use that before elections, about counselors that deserve to be elected. If they already felt that way, then what did they put on the show for? What did they put on that show for? And when Dennis Powell walked off the school committee, I applauded him for that, because you could tell how hurt he was and he had had enough. He had had enough. And many of us felt that way. This pick that you're seeing for the managers of the ARPA funds for the $41 million, same thing, behind the scenes, given to the mayor's friends. Nobody gets to apply for the positions. That's it. Well, this time people really need to voice their opinion. You can't sit back and let this happen. That needs to be posted for everyone to apply. And if Gina Armstrong and Deanna Rufer end up being the most qualified people for the position, so be it. But the public needs to know. When the mayor said, well, her little group that she put together, they deserve the sacred space and to not be judged by the public. That's not their money. It's not the mayor's money. That's the city's money. Enough of the cronyism, just like during this last election. And, you know, some people sent me some screenshots of some posts of former counselors, a member of one of the commissions in Pittsfield, and someone else who I won't mention by name, but posting, making fun of the way our city councilors talk, literally calling them morons, bullying tactics. Bullying tactics. When you're making fun of how people speak in their language and doing it that way publicly, making fun of former city councilors. Or when Karen Kalinowski and Craig Benoit ran for office, everyone started saying, well, Karen Kalinowski and Craig Benoit they're put up to this by the Mazzios. And yes, Melissa Mazzio, I believe, did manage Craig Benoit's campaign with him. She did not Karen Kalinowski's, I can tell you that. But here's the problem that I had. People have every right to say what they want, but when you're the personnel director for the city and part of human resources for the city, like Michael Taylor is, I believe that's his name, and you're engaging with posts saying things like Karen Kalinowski was put up by the Mazzio machine and all that. How dare you? The personnel and director and human resources people are supposed to embrace fairness and equality. And you're sitting there bashing a woman that you don't even know, that was one of our first female police officers, that served the city 32 years on the police department and was duly elected by the residents of Pittsfield. And our human resources and personnel director is going to sit there and bash her publicly on posts by participating in those posts. That's the type of cronyism that has to stop. This gang mentality has to stop. There should be no place for that. There should be unity. We should be volunteering. The city should be encouraging people to volunteer, be part of the solution. They should be making City Hall and city government a welcoming place. You should never be using the city council floor to promote a business. Just like the last city council meeting, with our city councilors doing an infomercial for craft beers, and the city is going to give $140,000 to a business going on North Street that's a bar, brewery. And look, I've said this and I'll make it very clear. Anybody who opens a business, I applaud that. Anybody who decides to open a business in Pittsfield, I applaud that. But the most competitive industry in the city of Pittsfield is the bar industry. And the city councilors are sitting there, and Councilor White specifically, doing an infomercial for craft beers. And how do you think the other bar owners feel about that? Nobody's giving them money. They pay their taxes. They've been in business. They're trying to stay afloat. And now, not only do they have more competition, it's competition that is being endorsed, backed, and supported financially by the city and promoted from the city council chambers. That was completely wrong. When councilors say we're elected to make the hard and tough decisions, no, you are not. You're not elected to push your own agenda. You're elected to represent your constituents. And you do what the majority of your constituents want. That's what they elect you for. It's unbelievable that this gang mentality and this style of government has to stop. And the only way it can stop is all of you have to step forward and say enough is enough. We need to start supporting all of our businesses. We need to stop with the divisiveness that we have seen in this city. And I've seen people pinned against each other. I've bought into it at times myself. Enough is enough. Support all your businesses, whether you be a gym, a bar, or whatever, a clothing store, a jewelry store, a restaurant. Support all of your businesses, because any business owner can tell you all day, every week, that phone rings with calls coming in. Can you donate to this? Can you help out this? Can you sponsor this? And rarely do our Pittsfield businesses say no. They rarely say no. That's why shop local, support our local businesses, help build community, volunteer for something, even if it's just one thing a year. And most importantly, engage with your city councilors and city hall. And if there's something unacceptable, tell them, because one or two people ain't going to get it done. It's going to take all of us coming together to start healing the community. This should be an inviting, welcoming place for everyone. Enough of this nonsense, and saying nonsense is just being kind. Enough of what they've done to North Street. And it's like one of the business owners messaged me telling me, hey, on Small Business Saturday, they didn't even clear out the Columbus Street parking deck. None of that was cleared. I mean, they made a mess out of North Street, provided no place for anybody to park, and they don't care what they're doing to those businesses. When the city overwhelmingly is disgusted and against what they did to North Street, then stop. But no, they're going to stick to their guns on that. They wouldn't if all of you came forward and said, enough. Start calling your counselors every day if you have to. Start calling City Hall every day if you have to. Voice your opinion. Every one of you have the right to be heard and need to be, and it's going to take a group of people to do it together. I'll be putting together more volunteer groups for more things, and that's super important. For one, it's getting positive work done in the city, and it's building community. That's what it's about. It's a true grassroots movement. And I will be running for mayor in 2 years. And look, I hope more people run. I hope more people run for council or city clerk. People should be encouraged to run and be part of something. People who want to give back to their community should be encouraged with that. But no, that mentality here where a lot of people won't run because they go, oh, I could never put my family through that. What they say and the vicious things and the attacks, and it's crazy. All that has to stop. But, all right, so anyways, I'm irritated about that. So if you're upset about these picks, and it's not just the picks for the ARPA funds managers, it's the fact that it wasn't made available for anyone to apply to that. So the city could know that they were getting the most qualified people. That's what I'm upset about, and that's what you should be upset about. Call City Hall, email City Hall, call your counselors, and do it today. And don't stop. So that is it for now. I've got a bunch of businesses that I'll be featuring starting tomorrow throughout the next week. A lot of positive, good stuff coming up. Getting people involved is good. None of this is negative. Stay involved. Stay engaged. Let's heal Pittsfield. Let's make Pittsfield a great place for everyone who lives here. If you follow the page and you haven't hit that like button, make sure you like the page. It's a big help to the page and how it's ranked. So make sure you like It's Pittsfield Tonight. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's at It's Pittsfield Tonight on YouTube. And all that's a big help to help get this out and spread the word. Oh, and if you can, don't forget the GoFundMe is up. I'm going to share it to get it back in the top of the feed. Anything you can give, $5, $10, $10 million, whatever you can give. I do these twice a year. It helps continue the page. So if you can, please consider giving to that. It's the only way I can continue this. Thank you to everyone who has already helped out. You have no idea how much I appreciate it. So stay warm, stay dry, stay safe, and I'll catch y'all tomorrow.